Stupid and ugly windmills are killing New Jersey. Energy prices up 28% this year and not enough electricity to take care of the state. Stop the windmills. Joining me now is Energy Secretary of the United States, Chris Wright. Mr. Secretary, thanks for joining us. Is there any plan in place to kill those windmill projects?
Well, getting rid of the subsidies, as was done in the One Big Beautiful Bill, this will ultimately lead likely to the end of wind power. And there's growing pushback from communities against wind power as well, whether it's in rural farmlands or coastal communities. Wind just takes a lot of land, a lot of visual perspective, a lot of visual impediments to the communities, and it produces a relatively low-value source of electricity because you don't know when the wind's going to blow and when the wind's going to stop. Subsidies have driven its rapid growth, and the end of subsidies will probably lead to the shrinkage of wind power.
You know, and it hurts other industries. I have a place in Cape Cod, and there are all these proposals for windmills in the water in Cape Cod. The fishermen don't like it because they know that it disturbs the fisheries around there. Of course, the tourist industry is screaming bloody murder, but they were paid so much money from the previous administration went into windmills that it was a very tempting thing for a lot of townships to go full bore towards the windmills. Those projects have already begun. Are they just going to stop in the water, so to speak?
Yeah, look, you know, usually if you subsidize something, you take other people's money to make something cheaper. The story of wind power is far worse than that. We've taken other people's money and made something more expensive.
Yes.
Germany and the United Kingdom have shown where this goes. They've tripled their prices of electricity, deindustrialized their nations, all based on subsidizing wind power. And it's just in the electricity sector. It barely dents the demand for hydrocarbons, which is always the justification for this, is we're going to save the world from climate change by putting up wind turbines. That's just not reality.
But the administration was essentially bribing townships all over the country to start these projects. What about the projects that have already been started? Any way to wean them off of the windmill dream?
I think those are going to be case-by-case basis. Yeah, a lot of those communities that signed up because it sounded great, the subsidies are there. If you look at the prices they had to agree to pay for that wind power, they're crazy high electricity prices. For, again, a very low value. Who wants electricity only when the wind blows and to have it go away when the wind stops blowing? Like, there's no customers for that. It just increases the system cost to run an electricity grid. But you're right, we bribed people into it, and we got to stop that. And that's why President Trump was elected.
The pipe dreams were just awful. They were making claims for energy from wind power that just were not true at all. And that's what got a lot of communities into it. But again, now they're buyer beware. There are a lot of people that are unhappy with those decisions. Secretary, thank you so much for being here.